Much for joining us again. Once again, I am Kristen Fredericks. I'm the digital marketing administrator for the company. If it's on a screen or if it has something to do with digital marketing, it falls under my purview. And again, I'm going to start this with if you have any questions after this, or if we don't address something in the class, you are always welcome to email our web support team at websupport@rwtown.com. That'll get over to the people who handle all of this, and we'll be happy to answer any questions after the class as well. This class is going to be Buyside 3, or otherwise known as the buyer market analysis. We've already done Buyside 1 and 2, which is putting in your coming soon listings, which was Buyside 1. And then Buyside 2 was about adding your buyers into the system. So this is Buyside 3, where we're going to talk about the buyer market analysis, which is something that you can take on a listing presentation to show the strength of the company and to also talk about pricing and things like that. So you will be able to access Buyside through the RW Connect. On here, you'll be able to go ahead and click on Buyside. I have already actually entered on Buyside on here, and I'm going to go into the Buyside dashboard. Switch to my agent view here. There we go. And this is what Buyside looks like when you land on the dashboard here. And again, we've already talked about adding your buyers and adding your listings, and we are going to talk right now about this BMA, or the buyer market analysis. So for those of you who might have seen it, part of this product here is the home valuation site. So that's where you can enter the how much is your home worth. You can pop in an address and somebody can get that information. That, of course, can you can share that off of your social media. It's installed on everyone's site builder websites for those of you who either have site builder or those of you who will be coming from the UAWs. Site builder sites are all the home valuation site is built into all of that. So the BMA is a really similar product to the home valuation, except it gives you to you in a much more formal way so that you can print out a PDF, or you can email that PDF, or you can take it on that listing presentation. It's going to give you the same type of information, but it is going to allow you to customize it before you send it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in an address here. So let me go ahead and put in this one. And we'll see what's available. This happens to be my mother-in-law's house. Please do not try to solicit her listing. I promise you she is not ready to sell yet, because I am not ready to clean out all of her closets. Thank you. All right, it's going to go ahead and bring that in. Notice that it's just thinking for a second. And it's going to start to bring in all of the different properties that we can go ahead and adjust for here. For whatever reason, if you aren't sure how to create a BMA, or you're not sure what to do, there is that video on that home screen that you can always watch. It'll give you some talking points to this, and it'll also take you through the steps. So for our BMA, it's going to start to bring in the property values. And this is, of course, brought in from the public record. Some of this might be right. Some of this might be wrong. So I know for a fact that, yes, it is 3 beds. I do know that we have done a renovation, and there's actually 2.5 baths in there now. That is for living area, that is for lot size, and it is a single family detached on here. It's going to ask me which property estimates I want to put in this report so that I can show them. So it's going to bring up to 5 in here, depending on the area that's available. So some of our more rural areas may not have as much information. This does rely on the property records as well. So some of the counties don't provide this to the different areas and providers, and sometimes our sources can be a little bit different depending on what area you're bringing this out of. So I'm going to go ahead and include my public data. I'm going to go ahead and bring in this value from the home valuation, which is RPR. And then, of course, I'm going to add Zillow, the elephant in the room, because I want to talk about the Zestimate, and I want to talk about the fact that it may or may not be correct. So this is where you start to establish yourself as that expert, that yes, this is information that anybody could look up right now. Anybody could look up this information on the internet. But you've already done your comparative market analysis. You've already done your listing presentation. This is where you're having that conversation with that potential seller, and you're going to be able to talk about those home values and why they might not be correct. Notice the huge swing in this. So this one is going all the way from 257.9, and then our high range here is 347. It's up to you to be the voice and of expert in what they should list their home for. And this is where we have that conversation. This is going to tell you that you can start to put in your own personal estimate in here as well. So this is what you would recommend as an agent. to put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this range really wide. Normally you would narrow this down, but I'm going to go ahead and just put in a fairly wide range just so that we can see some additional options that are available in here. And it's going to show me the number of buyers that are in the system. Remember that these buyers are dependent on people putting their buyers into the system. We've seen this number in the high 30s. We've seen this number at 0, depending on what is out there as far as buyers are concerned. This is one of those pieces where it is really, really important to put your buyers into the system if you have an opportunity, because it not only helps your reports, but it also helps others as well. You can extend out these different areas here to try to pick up additional buyers if you need to. If you don't see any additional ones, of course, you can pull it back in here. This generate PDF is the longest piece in the process. Notice that if I wasn't talking, I could just run through this really quickly. So what it's doing is it's pulling in all that public data. It's pulling in that buyer data. So it's going to talk about all the different things that are available. Where people are searching. It's going to give us some heat maps. It's going to give us some statistics on what people are searching for, so we can start to have that conversation. It is generating that report. So that report is done as a PDF. It has, it's completely branded to you. It has some information about the company on it. It's just bringing all of that data together. This is, again, the longest portion of this. And then, of course, it's going to go ahead and automatically download. I have my browser set to automatically download this, but if you have your browser set to ask you if you want to download something, you might receive a little pop-up screen that says, hey, this website is trying to download something. Do you want to download it? And you can, of course, say yes on here. So you'll notice that mine automatically downloaded on here. You have the option to view that report, so that you can view that report right on the screen here, or you can create another report instantaneously. So if you want to create a bunch of these reports all in a row, you can. We do have agents who use these for prospecting purposes too. So not just to take to a listing presentation, but if you are working on maybe a particular community, or you're working on just doing some farming, we have seen agents go ahead and generate a lot of reports and have that conversation with people in a neighborhood. I'm going to go ahead and open that. And again, of course, we are changing this. We're just waiting for that legal entity here. So this will be the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services RW Town Realty logo and signage, and example houses in here. And then, of course, here we are. It's all branded. So I would normally have a photo in here. I don't have a photo in my profile right now, but this would actually be branded to you with your photo. It's going to go ahead and bring in that information. So there is the address that you pulled in. Again, this is a formal report. And it's going to go ahead and bring in additional information that's based on your profile. So you can go ahead and update this profile information in Buyside if you need to. And it's just going to give some talking points about the company, why you should list with us. Again, all branded to you on every page. And then it's going to start to go into those real-time valuations. So here's the valuation that we brought in. We chose these 3 valuations here. And then it's going to say, this is my recommendation. Of course, I made this a little bit larger just so that we can see some additional data when it's coming in. But this is where you'd want to actually put your suggested value. And then you can talk about why this information is the way that it is. As we come down here, we're going to actually take a look at this heat map. So this heat map works on buyer data, and it's the darker the color, the more buyer data the more buyer activity that there is. And it's actually going to show you how that breaks down in the next screen. This comes in really handy because we do have some areas that have less buyer activity than others. Obviously, this area of Suffolk has a lot of buyer activity. We see less activity in certain areas. And it's important to have that conversation that says, we aren't seeing quite the activity for this particular location. We need to think about pricing, or we need to think about additional marketing. If it's in a location that may not have quite as many people searching, you can say, but I will do some target marketing to this area to try to encourage people to move here. So it opens up a lot of conversations for you, both about pricing and also about marketing when you're sitting in front of somebody. Go ahead and scroll on down here, and we're just continuing this report. This is a 6-page report, and it's going to show us the different online activities. So the nice thing about this is it's pulling in all sorts of information from all sorts of different networks and BHHS itself, all of our websites, all of our company websites, all of our agent websites, and it's also pulling in information from a lot of the major search portals as well. And it's going to say that there are different online activities. So there's 27 million online activities in Virginia. This is people doing searches, looking at properties. The online activities within a 5-mile radius of this property. So we drop down to 277,000. This is online activities within a 5-mile radius and within the home's price range. So there's where that price range came in. So it's 87,000 here. And then online activities within a 5-mile radius within the home's price range and looking for a 3-bedroom. And we come down to that 29,047. So you can see that these numbers get smaller and smaller and smaller. I love these numbers. When you start to actually narrow down that price range, this starts to become a conversation here. Sometimes we have a lot of online activity and it's great. And we can say that, you know, and this property is going to get a lot of views right up front. We know that people are searching for this property. Conversely, it also works the same way. I've seen this as low as 3,000 online activities within that 5-mile radius within the home's price range looking for a particular bedroom. And sometimes that happens when you have a 1-bedroom home that's been listed, or you have something that's in a very rural area. You have something, you know, that's just super unique. I mean, I've seen this too with people looking for a huge number of bedrooms or a house with huge number of bedrooms where there just might not be as much activity. We all know this in the real estate industry, where that activity is. And how we need to have that conversations, but this really quantifies it when you're sitting in front of somebody. My favorite piece in here, the bedrooms and price range. This comes in handy when you are talking about pricing, or you might be talking about a unique situation with the house. So for example, I know for a fact that this is only a 3-bedroom home. That is true. There is no possible way to get a 4th bedroom in my mother-in-law's house. It's not possible. Short of building another one. So we know that there are less people looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 1-bedroom here. And we need to have that conversation that says, you know, an additional 45% of people are searching for a 4-bedroom. So we have a less opportunity here with that 3-bedroom. We might need to talk about maybe adjusting our pricing or making it a very competitive price because it is only a 3-bedroom. This is where you also have that conversation where if you have that opportunity to say, you know, can we turn this into another bedroom, or can we repurpose this room for something else, where you might be able to get that extra bedroom in here. You can also talk about it in price range as well. So we know for a fact, look at that, between 300 and 499, over the majority of these people are searching within that price range. If you're right on the cusp of a certain price range, maybe this home was right on the cusp of, maybe you're thinking about like a 485 to maybe like a 505 area. We see that pretty often. This is where you can have that conversation that says, if we price this competitively, look how many more people are searching in that price range. If we put this at that $499, $999, we're within all those people, 112,000 people who are looking in that price range, versus if we put it at that 505, we lose a huge range, a huge number of people who are actually searching in that price range. And then you get down to the bottom here where it says you have those potential buyers. So do remember that these buyers, the only thing that they can see on this end is that buyer ID. You can have that conversation though that says, we have buyers right now who are looking for a home like yours. I'm going to go back to the office and I am going to look up who those buyers agents are and contact them and let them know that we have a home coming on the market, that we have a home that might match what their clients are looking for, because we want to go ahead and make that networking connection within our company. It really certainly shows the strength of our company here. And again, I have seen this as low as nothing if it's a very unique property, and I've seen this well up into the 30s as well for different properties and different buyers. But it does depend on making sure that we have those buyers in the system. So that's the end of that report on the buyer market analysis. It's certainly something you should always take with you on your listing presentations. Does anybody have any questions about this buyer market analysis report? All right, doesn't look like there's any questions right now. All right, again, this is part of the Buyside program, and you will be able to access this through Buyside. Again, we are changing this to do the RW Town branding on here. And hopefully you guys go ahead and use this. If you have any questions about any of our digital advertising or digital marketing opportunities, again, a web support at rwtown.com is how you can reach that team. I thank you for joining me today.